Hey guys, it's Kyla at the MJC, and today I'm here to walk you guys through the filing instructions for the name change form for minor children who are age 13 and younger. So if you have minor children who are 14 or older, make sure you're checking out the video for the adult name change form. But before I get started on this, two things I want to let you guys know. The first is, as always, nothing in this video is intended to be legal advice. It is truly just a procedural video talking about filing documents, these particular documents, in Milwaukee County. If you are here in Milwaukee County and you do need legal advice, you can get brief legal advice through the Marquette Volunteer Legal Clinics. If you are not located in Milwaukee County, you will want to get in touch with the clerk of court for your county. And I should mention, if you're not located in Milwaukee County, these are Milwaukee directions. They will generally be applicable, but obviously don't go to the Milwaukee County Courthouse. You'll want to go to your local courthouse. The other thing is just to let you guys know that the information in this checklist is current as of our recording of this, which is December 16th of 2020. But we are in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic, and things are changing pretty rapidly. We're trying our best to keep up with them, but some processes may have shifted slightly by the time you are watching this video. If you're watching this video at a time when we are out of the pandemic or things have changed substantially back towards normal, you may want to check to verify that this information is still good. If you got it from our website or from a volunteer at either the MJC or the Marquette Volunteer Legal Clinics, then I assume it is still substantially correct. All right, well, let's get into the instructions now. So, we're going to start with a little just roadmap, sort of walking you through the major things that you need to know, and then we'll get into each step in more detail. The first thing here is the forms that you'll need. So you will need the petition for name change for a minor child, 13 or younger. And that form is going to look something like this. And by something like this, I mean this is the form. So you'll have that form. You'll also need the notice and order for name change form. That is this form here. And you will also want the order for name change form. The notice and order are different forms. I know, it's a very confusing way to name them. And this is the order for name change form. So you'll want to make sure that you have those three forms for sure. An additional form that you might have is the fee waiver form. So this name change motion costs $168 to file with the court. There may also be a fee if you choose to serve the other parent through the Milwaukee County Sheriff. They charge $85 to serve. If you look at those two numbers and you say, wow, I really can't afford those, you can ask the court to waive the fee. If you want to do that, you will do this additional form, which is the fee waiver form. You can see it looks like this. This is the fee waiver. And you'll also need to complete the order on the fee waiver, which is this form. So you've got all of those two forms. If you are using a fee waiver, you will also need proof of income, so a month's worth of pay stubs or an award letter for, say, unemployment or disability. Or you'll need proof of public assistance. So if you're receiving food share or Badger Care, you can use the My Access app on your phone. You can pull up that landing page where it's got the little stick figures and it says for this month, these are the people in your household that are receiving these benefits. You can also print that same page from an online account. One other thing to note about the costs and fees, we already talked about the filing fee and the fee to serve the other person. There is also a $125 or $100 publication fee, and unfortunately that fee cannot be waived, even with a fee waiver, so that one you'll end up paying no matter what. The general process for the name change is you're going to gather everything that you need to file. You're going to file everything at the courthouse. You will publish notice in an approved newspaper. You will serve the other parent if you guys aren't filing together, and then you will attend your hearing. So now I'm going to go into these steps in a lot more detail. Some people might say excruciating detail, and talk you through each step one by one. So the first step is to gather everything you need to file. So basically you are going to review all of the documents. You're going to make sure you have them, and we went through those 3 documents that you need and the 2 other optional ones you might have. You're going to review everything carefully. If there are any edits or additions, so if you worked with our MJC team, in these sections down here, they might have written things you needed to change. So it might say write in the name of the newspaper, or write in your ex's address when you get it, or whatever information might not have been included that you do need to include. So if there's anything written in the edits or additions section, you'll go ahead and add that to your forms. If there are no edits, or once you've made the edits, make sure that you review everything to make sure names are correct, to make sure that addresses are correct, phone numbers are right, because remotely some of that can be hard. I always tell people 15 and 50 sound pretty similar over the phone. So you'll review everything. Once you've reviewed it and it looks like everything is good, you'll need to print the documents out, and then you will need to get the petition signed. So as far as printing and copying, because spoiler, the next step is making photocopies, the first thing to know is make sure that all of your printed pages and photocopies are single-sided. So you only want printing on one side of the page, not both of them. The court will not necessarily accept documents that are printed double-sided. For printing and copying, if you have a printer that you can use and a place you can make copies, whether it's you have a friend with a printer or you have your work will let you print or make copies there. If you have a place to do it, great, do it there. If you don't, one option is you can contact the Milwaukee County Law Library at 414-278-4900. They are open intermittently right now because of the rise in coronavirus cases. So you should call that number to see if they are open, and if so, if they are doing their printing and copying services and what that looks like. If you don't want to wait for the library and you don't have access to a printer, you can go to a FedEx Kinko's, to some big box stores like Office Max, some like Office Max, Office Depot type stores have printing or copying. You can contact your local library to see if they are open. And we've been hearing anecdotally that while some of the larger libraries may not be doing printing and copying, some of the smaller libraries around town or in the suburbs could be an option as well. So wherever you go, you'll want to make sure that you print out the document. You'll need to sign the petition, and the fee waiver will need to be signed in front of a notary. There are notaries available in room 104 of the courthouse. Since you don't need copies of the fee waiver, it's not a big deal if you just want to print it, sign it in front of a notary. Make sure that you bring your ID. Make sure that you bring your ID with you if you're going to get it notarized. And then once it's notarized, you will take it up to room 609 to be approved. And then once your fee waiver has been approved, you will show it in any of the rooms as you need to get fees waived. So anyway, that's getting that one notarized and signed. And for these original ones, once it's signed, you'll need to make some copies. So what you can do is, you've printed everything off, you've made all the changes, everything looks right. Then you'll want to have the original plus 2 photocopies. And again, most of the places that have printing also would have copying services. All right, so once you've got all of those things, you've got your original, your 2 photocopies, your fee waiver if you're using one, and your proof of income or of public assistance, then you're ready to go file everything at the courthouse. You'll take the fee waiver to 104 and 609 like we discussed before, and then you'll come back to room 104, you'll file your original, your copies, and pay the fees or show the fee waiver in room 104 of the Milwaukee County Courthouse. They are open on weekdays from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. After you file, you've got a little bit of a break here where you'll have to wait. So you're going to give the documents to the court, and then they will return them to you in a few weeks with a court date. It does take a few weeks, so please be patient as you wait. If it has been over a month since you filed and you still haven't heard anything, you can either contact the court directly or you can contact us at mjcdivorce@gmail.com. And I know this is a name change, but we use that for all of our forms. We just weren't very forward thinking and didn't realize we'd use it for non-divorce forms at some point. So mjcdivorce@gmail.com, where we can try and help you figure out your next steps. Once you have gotten your documents back from the court, you need to publish the notice of the name change in an approved newspaper. And that's the notice and order for name change. Here in Milwaukee, and I guess I should note, if you are watching this and you are not in Milwaukee, you'll want to contact your clerk of court to find out the number of copies they need and the steps for filing. So I don't know how useful this is in non-Milwaukee counties. But in any case, you will publish the notice of name change in an approved newspaper. It does need to be an approved newspaper for the county where you are filing. Here in Milwaukee, the two cheapest approved newspapers that we're aware of are the Milwaukee Community Journal and the Daily Reporter. Both of those do require payment up front. And what you'll do is you will contact one or the other. You can see the community journals over on Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. Their phone number is 414-265-5300. They charge $100 for all 3 weeks of publication. The Daily Reporter is over on Michigan, and they're 414-276-0273. They charge $125 for all 3 weeks of publication. After the newspaper runs the notice, they're going to send you a proof of publication. You're going to want to get that to your judge before the hearing. They may give you some directions on how to turn that document into them. If they don't, our recommendation right now is to make a copy of the proof of publication. You keep the copy with you and turn the original into room 104 of the courthouse. So in the name change for a minor child, which this is, if you are not filing together, so if you and the other parent are both co-petitioners, or a petitioner and a co-petitioner on this motion, you can skip this step. You don't need to do it. You also don't need to do this step if paternity has never been established. So if you go back to your petition, on your petition, there was a section where it would have said, it's where both parents filing together, or, a sole surviving parent, one parent where paternity's been established, those sections. If the other parent is, if paternity has been established, so there is another parent, or obviously if the parent is deceased, you don't have to do this, but in any situation where you are only one of the parents and paternity has been established, again, unless the other parent has passed away, then you do need to serve the other parent. You can do that through a couple of different options. We'll go through these options just incredibly briefly. If you have questions about them, you can contact us at mjcdivorce@gmail.com, and that's written here. Not all methods of service are appropriate for all situations. You can serve through the Milwaukee County Sheriff. You can serve through the sheriff in the county where your ex lives, or where the other parent lives. You can serve through a private process server. The good news about the sheriff options is those will waive the the service fee. Private process servers usually will not, but for the sheriff you'll need an address. For a private process server you may not need an address if they're willing to do skip tracing. And last, you may be able to serve through a neutral third party, a friend or a family member. They do need to be at least 18 and not a party to the case, and a resident of the state where the other person lives. After they hand the document to the other parent, they will need to complete an affidavit of service. Last but not least, you'll want to attend your hearing. Make sure you bring an original birth certificate for the child, a copy of that proof of publication, and a copy of the proof of service if the other parent needed to be served. That hearing will take place by phone or by Zoom, and the court will provide you information about connecting to that call. And those are the steps to file the name change document with the court. I hope that this video was helpful for you. If you do have questions, you can contact us at mjcdivorce@gmail.com. Until next time, thank you guys, and I hope that you all go out and represent yourselves well.